Hey guys, Tim here. Just want to share some thoughts with you. Today is our 10-year anniversary in Japan. We flew and landed in Narita Airport 10 years ago and spent 5 years in Tokyo, and now we're 5 years in Oita. And I just want to share a few thoughts, reflect, and just to share. I'm doing this live because I've tried doing this the other way around where I'm pre recording it and then editing it, but I'm not quite there yet. I can't get my thoughts straight sometimes, so doing it live is sometimes better. Um, so here I am. Yeah, so I'm here in Julie's office because we have some guests downstairs, and I'm unable to use the office kind of privately. So I'm using Julie's office this time. As you can tell, I got her Nicaragua hat right there. Um, yeah, she's out doing some errands, so I have some time to make this video. Yeah, first of all, I just want to say for those who have supported us through prayer, through finances, and through your encouragements and through your friendship. Thank you so much. Um, it's been a ride. God has been working. It's been a struggle too. There have been struggles. Not everything's been, amazing. Um, so I want to share some of those thoughts and just kind of reflect in the spirit of thankfulness because this is the month of Thanksgiving. Some people say, "Oh, Christmas is coming." I'm like, "No, Thanksgiving is coming, especially U.S. Thanksgiving." So I want to be in spirit of thankfulness. Um, and I'm gonna make a few videos hopefully this month that are centered around thankfulness, and hopefully it continues because you can't just celebrate thankfulness just this month. It has to be all year round. God is good all the time. So yeah, I'm gonna start. Um, Hopefully this will be 10 minutes. That's my goal, just to share thoughts. So here we go. Yeah, so Julie and I we landed. We we started off in Tokyo, and yeah, we kind of just went on running. We did learn some Japanese language early on, but one thing I do kind of wish we did more and focus on more, especially the first year, was hardcore study of Japanese language. Now, I'm growing in it now. It's been 10 years. I can get around, but those first few years are they're important, especially when you're moving to a strange place like Japan. But I did learn a lot about the culture, and I feel like I do have I do grasp a good concept of the culture at this point, and getting there with the language. But yeah, we started running. We got into English clubs to street evangelism. We continue to do a similar event to this day called Glory Bubble. It's a street evangelism art ministry we do in front of Oita Station. It has its roots back in Tokyo, and we've been doing it ever since, once a week. So I'm very thankful for that. It's been such a great ministry. Hard because sometimes you feel like I'm out here, not many people are, if you feel like are being affected by it, but just being there, people walk by, they listen, they hear, especially when I play music. And Julie, she draws and she hands out things to people. The people are being reached and being affected. Um, so it's not like every day people are getting saved. It's actually been, from my perspective, I'm here to see people come to Christ. And I would say the first 6 to 7 years, I felt like we haven't really seen much. I'm not saying that people haven't gotten saved. I've seen people get baptized through other ministries, through other people, but um, it really wasn't until we were in Awita, 2 years in, I meet this young guy, and 2 years later, after meeting him, he gets saved, he gets baptized, and now his uncle is on the verge of coming to Christ. I'd say he's actually right there. I think he said the other week he wants to get baptized. Um, and so yeah, we're starting to see fruit now, and we're seeing fruit in other ministries. And so like just being here, we're influencing each other. Churches, other Christians, other missionaries. We're doing this together. It's a work we're doing together. It's not something we're doing separately. So another thing I've learned is to do it relationally. You're going to meet other missionaries here from other denominations, from other groups, but we all have the same common goal, and that is to see the kingdom of God grow in Japan and people come to Christ. And we're seeing that slowly but surely. I see in the future, moving on, um, there's going to be a revival happening here. The youth are just they just need to hear. They're so open. Um, so yeah, 5 years in Tokyo. You know, I learned a lot. I started a English conversation party. That if it were to continue, would probably turn into a house church. Um, it was such an amazing event that happened for like 4 years, and then COVID hit, and then things kind of unfortunately kind of died out because during that season we were actually preparing to come to Awita. So we did one final event just to say farewell to our friends and to let them know and encourage them to continue seeking the Lord and Jesus. Um, but then we moved here, and I carried a lot of those things, whether it was building community, building friendship, breaking bread, having meals with people, having coffee with people. Um, that this last year, Julie and I started a house church that really has a lot of the fruit of that in this house church. Yeah, the first 3 years here in Owita have been really just getting ourselves planted here, and we did it intentionally, slowly. One thing because of COVID, we got here during COVID, and there wasn't quite the lockdown there was in Tokyo, but there was still a limitation on what we could do, where we could go. So we focused a lot in getting settled here, making sure things we're doing things right, building our team. And then one thing when things started opening up around 2023, 2022, 2023, getting more involved on the streets and meeting people. And it was also around 2 or 3 years ago that we started university ministry um, through a English club called ECC, started by a student there, and we've been invited to go there and to help them with their English and develop relationship and friendship and community with them. And it's been going great. We've had you know some bumps, but like the leaders there love us, and so a lot of the bumps kind of happen when things are going real well. God's moving, and all of a sudden the enemy doesn't like it, and so some people get kind of weary that there are too many Christians in this group. So then we have to kind of like limit how many people we send there. But all that to say, we still have a solid connection there with the leaders, and so they love us. They actually wish that we could bring as many people as we could, but um, as we can. But um, you got to work around things, and God's still working. It's just practicing discernment, being wise, and just growing and learning. Um, if I could go back to when we first moved here, I'll be sharing my testimony probably in some videos, 10-minute slots. But if I could recap in these last 2 minutes, when moving here, I really asked God, what am I going to do in Japan? Like like a few years before coming here, I didn't even think I would be a missionary. It wasn't until I met Julie, got married, and then did YWAM, and it just like it became more and more of like a thing I really wanted to do, and I felt the calling of God, to do it. And I'm like, God, I still am quite unsure. Like, what am I to do? Like, I know I'm supposed to preach the gospel and be a witness in Japan. And I remember clearly, I say this to people all the time whenever I share this story, that I felt God say, be a student, be my student, and be the student of other people. Learn about them, spend time with them. Almost like how Jesus, when he was outside the temple, he was out on the streets hanging out with how the Bible puts it, sinners and tax collectors. Um, yeah, be with the people you're reaching and be intentional. Now, I definitely need to be in the church. I need to be in a solid community. That's that's obvious, and that's what we're growing here in Owita. Is now we're a team of 20 people, crazy, of 20 missionaries, and so we're developing that community, and it's tough. It's hard, but being a student, growing every day, never stop learning. Spending time in the Word daily, running my journal daily, has really set a solid foundation. And so, if I could just say that, finish with that, these last few thoughts. Um, I'm so thankful that God has called me here, even if, as a 20-year-old, not even sure what I'm gonna do with my life, except, just to be used by God. Get it so I got involved in youth ministry and stuff like that. I had a job, I had a full-time job, and just being present wherever I'm at, being used to God wherever I'm at. It is so hard though, like, so hard. But without Jesus, you know, walking with Jesus makes it all the worth it. Makes it possible. Um, and thanks to Julie too, my wife. She's amazing. And yeah. So I guess I'll end there. I'm going on 11 minutes now. Um, but thank you for listening. Thank you for your support all these years, your prayers. I'm going to share more of our story and my testimony, maybe, and what things are going on here in future videos centered around thankfulness, because this is a season of being thankful. Thank you for listening. Take care. God bless. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.